Hey, what's your problem? You have business problems? We have business solutions. Well, maybe.
No.
Life is a fight.
Yep.
In business, every day is a fight.
Yep.
So, hey, what's your problem?
Yes, as always, thank you, John David Wells, the big old voice guy for the show. Good friend of mine from Las Vegas when I worked out there. Now he's in Dallas doing the radio talk show thing. This is the What's Your Problem podcast, where we talk to Middle Tennessee business owners and professionals about the one thing, because it's always something. It's a podcast where you can kind of relate to people. Hopefully. Mostly for Middle Tennessee business owners and professionals. Hey, lately we started a new Facebook page called the Middle Tennessee Business Therapy page that we talk about the things that are keeping you up. The It's Always Something factor. May or may not be sponsored by this very podcast, but you know, it's what I do. This is a video and audio podcast. Check us out at whatsyourproblempodcast.com. Our big, hairy, audacious goal for the year is 10,000 average downloads on an annualized basis. If you could help us out with that would be great. That takes some sharing and caring. I am your host, Jim McCarthy, with JimMcCarthyVoiceovers.com, and today we're getting into it with a pseudo-local celebrity. Pseudo. I mean, I'm not sure if anybody knows his identity. It's kind of, you got to keep it that way these days, right?
Yes, sir.
The Spring Hill's very own Spring Hill Spider-Man.
Yes, sir.
Isiah Brooks.
Yes, sir.
Is that bad? Did I just totally out you? I mean, we got to tear apart the universe and the multiverse to make people forget now, or
a little bit.
A little bit.
The kids aren't old enough to understand yet,
right. So if you're ever driving around Spring Hill, maybe on a weekend or something like that, you may actually come across a dude, a Spider-Man, just doing all sorts of acrobatic flips and headstands, handsprings, all the other terminology from gymnastics that I don't know, and just doing your thing out there. And we'll get into all that, but of course, first we're going to do something called the Dad Joke Challenge. Isiah, the Dad Joke Challenge is brought to you by Edward Fox and Trade Bank of Nashville.
Okay.
If you're a business, maybe things are slow, you got some languishing items on the shelves and you want to, figure out a way to move them.
Okay.
Trade Bank is a good option. Plugs you into a pretty robust network as well. So if you can't, move them for cash, then sometimes barter is smarter and getting tapped into a network and move them anyway for pennies on the dollar.
Right.
So pretty cool stuff. He is the one that actually records all of our dad jokes too.
That's pretty
and I'm
cool.
pulling it off he's a big dad joke guy. You like dad jokes?
That's pretty cool. Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Joke number one. And the whole challenge is that if you laugh, great. Okay. If you don't laugh, you can groan, you can make comments, all that stuff. Not going to make you shy away from that. Just, react.
All right.
And the challenge is that we don't keep score. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Do you know why the rapper carries an umbrella? Faux drizzle.
Right.
Oh, drizzle.
Yes. And obviously Ed Fox is not from the country, so. Number two.
Well, did you hear about the red ship and the blue ship that collided? Both crews were marooned.
Because red and blue?
Red and blue.
Yes, maroon.
Right.
Yeah. These are the jokes you can use this weekend, people. Number three.
Okay, see if you can get this one. What game would you play with a wombat? Wom.
That one's pretty fun.
Wom.
I saw that coming.
I'll have to use that this weekend.
I was thinking to myself, it's probably Wom. No, it can't be that easy. Well, okay, it is. Number four.
What do you get when you cross an elephant with a kangaroo? Giant potholes all over Australia.
There you go.
Giant potholes.
I'll have to do a very faint winner ding. Here we go. Number five.
Did you hear about the two antennas that met on the roof, fell in love and got married? The ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was excellent.
There you go. Reception. I've heard that one before.
I feel like I've heard that one before too. Yeah.
It's there it is. The Dad Joke Challenge kind of gets everybody. You kind of get the feel of the podcast.
Okay.
This is not it is not a very stiff business podcast. We just got to go with the flow, man.
Gotcha.
It's a free-flowing conversation. So there it is, the Dad Joke Challenge brought to you by Mr. Ed Fox and Trade Bank of Nashville. All the details are in the description. If you're interested in setting up a coffee meet with Ed Fox, you certainly can. And he will tell you some dad jokes. I promise you that. So, Mr. Isiah, we've seen you all around Spring Hill. You show up in pictures. I see you at like first days of schools. You go out to a bunch of different events. You go to birthday parties, things of that nature. Are you? I would have to say you're a Spider-Man fan, Peter Parker, that kind of thing, or how did it all begin for you?
It all began when I used to work at Taco Bell on Port Royal. I just ordered a Spider-Man suit, and I said, you know what? Everyone's caved inside the house. You know how cool it'd be for them to see Spider-Man standing on the side of the street walk. So.
Just out of somebody dare you to do it, or you just wanted to do it?
No, I just bought it. And originally, before I had wore the suit on the sidewalk, I took some pictures. I climbed on top of my house and got a ladder. And when I had received on the top of the house, the ladder had fallen. And so I got stuck on top of the house, and my neighbor had to come get a ladder and get me down. And someone took a picture while I was up there and posted it and said, looks like Spider-Man's stuck on the house.
Oh my God. So that's how it all began.
So that's one. That's really how it first began. And then actually on Port Royal, someone had took a picture on I Heart Spring Hill. And at the time I wasn't in the group. I didn't even know I Heart Spring Hill was the thing.
Right.
And a whole bunch of my friends started messaging me like, oh, this is you, this is you, this is you. And I said, wow, that is me.
That is pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
And then it just, and this is what, just around COVID time?
Yes, sir. This is right around COVID, when COVID first started.
Okay, very cool. So basically before that, tell me about your upbringing and, what kind of family life did you have and all that fun stuff?
I had a pretty good life growing up. I was actually born at Williamson Medical, and we lived in Mount Pleasant at the time. So I grew up in Mount Pleasant most of my life. I attended Mount Pleasant Middle School and elementary as well. And right at 7th grade, I transferred from Mount Pleasant to Spring Hill Middle. Right. So I moved to that school, and it was kind of weird making new friends. I didn't know anyone, just a new environment. And so finally, 8th grade year at Spring Hill Middle, started making a lot of friends. And then I went to Spring Hill High School.
Okay.
So I was there for the rest of the 4 years, and I graduated from Spring Hill High School. And Spider-Man, I want to say around sophomore year, that's when the Spider-Man really started happening.
Right.
And I didn't tell anyone. My mom, she knew. My brother knew. But other than that, a couple of my friends knew. But other than that, no one else knew. So
you graduated in
2021.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, sir. Graduated in 2021.
Okay, so basically, here you are. Was gymnastics a big part of your life growing up as well?
It actually wasn't. All throughout high school, I did wrestling.
Okay.
So my coach, he kept coming to me in the hallway. Hey, come wrestle for me. Come wrestle for me. And I was like, I don't know. And so finally, I took it on my freshman year. I didn't do so good. Sophomore year, didn't do so good. Junior year, I started to get better. And then senior year, I said it's the last year of high school. I want to make it to state. So I started practicing a lot, in the gym a lot. And then comes up, so we're in Williamson County. Spring Hill, we go against Williamson County schools and all that good stuff. So it was the finals, and I went against Summit and Indy. And I beat the kid from Indy, who had previously beat me once already this year. So beat him. And then I lost to the Summit kid, but we were top 2, so that puts us in state. So senior year, I made it to state in wrestling. That was a really big goal for me. And I did track as well. I did track and field, but I stopped doing track around sophomore year.
Right.
So
no gymnastics whatsoever.
No gymnastics ever. I actually had a friend that I used to work with at Sonic. Her name was Grace. I asked her if she could take me to the gym to just learn some cool tricks. So what she ended up teaching me was a back handspring. So I would just jump and use my hands, And what I started doing the more I was being Spider-Man, I started just doing back handsprings, but I started over jumping. So therefore, I started just doing backflips regularly, and I didn't need my hands anymore. So I kind of taught myself how to do a backflip, and sometimes I jump way too far over and just land with no hands.
You land on your feet at that point?
Yes, sir. Landed at my feet.
That's incredible. So, all the stuff that you're doing out there, no gymnastics training other than just, hey, let me come to the gym with you and try some stuff out.
Yeah. That's about it.
You're just a natural.
Yes, sir. And then
Yes, sir, and I'm proud to say it.
the handstands, it actually came along with being Spider-Man. Before, I couldn't walk on my hands like I can now.
Right.
I could just do a handstand for maybe 5-10 seconds. And the more I started to do Spider-Man, the more better I got at it. I just started being able to walk on my hands. Like,
That's incredible.
I can stand on my hands for at least, sometimes I'll have the kids count to 30 seconds. I can do that. That's easy. And then sometimes if I'm feeling good, I'll have them count to a minute and I'll do a handstand for a minute or walk around on my hands for a minute. And they all just go crazy.
Do you feel like you get into the character once you put the mask on? And
Yes.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like it really it's like a physical transformation that allows you to do these things?
Right. Yes, sir.
Does it feel? It really feels that way.
So I think it feels that way. Just because I'm actually a really shy person. I don't like being around a lot of people. I'm really shy. So every party I do, I'm always sitting in the car and I'll sit there and I'm just kind of thinking to myself, gosh, what could go wrong? Could I mess up a backflip? And then finally I get out the car, put the mask on, and I'll just run to the party and I'm all energetic. I feel like I can jump on 2 houses. And so I'm feeling pretty good. Then I started doing the handstands and the backflips. So that's pretty cool.
So there wasn't really any impetus like, hey, I just want to go out and hang out and be Spider-Man on the side of the road and just see what people do.
Yeah, it was that. And
then
that's
it turned
actually,
into something.
Yes, sir. So it turned into something. So Great White Express right here in Spring Hill, they're actually who kind of got me on. The owner, Eric, he came past me in his red truck and he said, hey, kid, you want to make $50? I said, yeah, sure. I was maybe 16 or 17 at the time. So $50 was a lot to me. And so he invited me out to his car wash and he posted that Spider-Man would be there. And the car wash was so packed. It was lined out to the road. It had all these kids. And at the time, I was still new and I really didn't know what to do. But, hi, how's it going? You know, give them a high five and then take a picture. And that was really it. I didn't know how to interact with the kids as good as I do now.
Yeah. Well, you're 16 at the time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I really didn't know what to do. And right after that, I started getting messages. Hey, do you do birthday parties? And the first party I ever did, it was right here on Port Royal. And the guy, he had the family, all the family was there. So I was super nervous because I've never did this before. And so he had the fire department come and the police department come through. So that kind of loosened me up a little bit because all the attention was off of Spider-Man. So that was pretty good. And the kid, it was just one kid. And he loved Spider-Man. He had a great time. We ran around. We played tag. We took pictures. And so that kind of got me... It kind of got me thinking, like, what to do. You know, like, it kind of opened up my mind a lot. Should I say this? Should I do this? Or, you know, and you have to be prepared because these kids are going to ask you questions. Hey, you know, who's your worst villain? Or where's Ghost Spider? Or where's Venom?
Did you have to study up?
No, I didn't. I watch a lot of Marvel, so I kind of know these things. But I was
were you
more
a big MCU guy or were you a comic book guy?
comic book. I like comic books. I like to read a lot of Hulk comic books. Growing up, Hulk. That's my favorite superhero. So I put Hulk over Spider-Man. I love Hulk.
Now, were you a 70s like? Gosh, what's his name? The weightlifter.
I know who you're talking about. I was not a 70s fan, but I was the Bruce Banner.
Lou Ferrigno. That's his name.
And so coming up, I started watching. I forget what the first episode is called. He's out in the desert. You know, he's jumping real high with a scientist.
There was an iteration of the Hulk in 2002 or 3 with Eric Bana as Bruce Banner.
Right.
And that took the world by storm. That's when we really saw the Hulk as he was supposed to be with all the CGI and stuff.
Right.
And then the next iteration was 2010 or not. Maybe it was right after Iron Man came out.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it was Edward Norton who played it. Yeah.
Yes. So I grew up watching a lot of Hulk, and my grandparents, they bought me, the 2 big Hulk fists, and I had the time of my life. So,
and you ended up being Spider-Man.
And I ended up being Spider-Man, so that's crazy. A lot of people think that, I like Spider-Man. He's pretty cool, but I'd put Hulk over Spider-Man any day.
Hey, I mean, Hulk is, I
love him.
Maybe now, not in this iteration of the MCU with the Smart Hulk crossover that's happened.
And then I think the She-Hulk that came out, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a lot of shade, but it was cool. Yeah, it was fun to watch.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best. I feel like they could have put out something a little bit better.
Yeah, Marvel's getting a lot of shade these days because I just believe they're in a period of transition.
Right.
You know, and it's, with everything that started in '08 with Iron Man, and then it led up to, I want to say, Thor was the one that followed up. Then Captain America was the next movie.
Okay.
That all led up to the first Avengers movie.
Right.
And then Spider-Man finally made his appearance in Civil War.
So that was
2016
pretty
or 2017, I want to say.
Right.
Yeah. With the current iteration, which is Tom Holland.
cool. Tom Holland, yes, sir.
Did you
That's
watch
pretty
So with all the new Spider-Man movies that have come out, you've had the Tobey Maguire era.
Right.
Then you had Andrew Garfield.
Right.
Which I thought he was a cool Spider-Man.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield, I think he was really good.
I think he's one of the better ones, honestly.
he's
I mean,
really
they
good.
all hold their own.
Right.
And then Tom Holland obviously solidified his place. He's certainly got more movies now than
Right.
all the other guys.
Yeah, I think that was, I seen the first, I forget what it's called. The one where all three of them are in it.
Yeah, the No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Just
So
watched
No Way
it
Home.
again.
Right. And my girlfriend, she's originally from Pennsylvania. So when I had flew up there, we wanted to wait to see it together. And so we went to the movie theater and we saw it together. I think that was
Were you
really, really
anticipating the big reveal?
cool. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Because I was part of a podcast at the time. We called it Capes and Hammers.
Right.
And everybody, all the guys that I did the podcast with were like, there's no way. There's no way that, Andrew Garfield is denied ever, I'm not going to be a part of this movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hate to let you down. And Tobey Maguire just wouldn't talk to anybody. Yeah. And lo and behold, man, they kept it a secret. Good for them.
I think it was pretty good.
What a fun movie that was.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah. It was one of the better ones they put out.
Yes, I agree.
There's another person. Well, I mean, I don't know if they have a costume for this, but Shang-Chi. Have you watched that one?
Shang-Chi. No,
The Legend of
I've
the
not.
Ten Rings.
I have not watched that
Yeah.
one. No, sir.
You probably could pull off some of those moves, I would think.
Probably, yes, sir.
Yeah. Doctor Strange. I mean, Doctor Strange doesn't do any of that kind of
Doctor
stuff.
Strange,
but-
I've seen Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah, I think he's a great character.
He's pretty cool. I like him a lot.
So, I mean, any other characters that you want to try? And Spider-Man just fits you, man. That's just
Yeah, Spider-Man's great. I love it because they don't have to see my face. So up under there, well, because I have so much energy and, I try to keep up with the kids. I try to match their mood. So if I go to a birthday party and I can see that the kids, they're a little bit shy or they're holding on to mom or dad, I kind of stay back a little bit and kind of let them open up. So
Yeah.
I'll probably give them around 10 to 5 minutes to open up, and then I'll start trying to interact with them or high five or shake their hands. I would say force, but not really force. The parents kind of help me and the kids kind of interact because the parents are like, sometimes I'll say, hey, watch, mom will give me a high five. Mom gives me a high five, and most of the time
Then the
it
wall comes
works.
down.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the kids, they just start high five, hugs, and all that good
That's
stuff.
cool.
So most of the time when I'm running around, I'd say maybe 10 minutes, I just start sweating up under the mask because it's so hot with the whole suit on, and especially having spandex up under the legs part.
Oh,
and I have a
gosh.
shirt on up under the suit.
Yeah.
So I'm just all hot and sweaty, and it's terrible. But I
Yeah,
love doing it.
Tony Stark's got to get on that.
Yes,
Make an air
right.
conditioner for the, the Spidey suit.
Right, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Or somebody from left over at Stark.
Yeah.
So,
I've seen that they have, it's a guy in China. He makes Spider-Man masks and he makes the suits as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he also makes the mask just like the Tom Holland movie where the eyes open.
Oh, yeah,
So
okay.
the eyes on the mask actually open whenever your eyes inside open, close, shut. And so it's pretty cool. It has 3 different modes where they're wide, and then they're medium, and then they're really small.
and
which
it
you
actually matches your.
so it matches
Wow.
inside the mask. And I think the mask was around, just the mask alone was around $2,500.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
so, but I'd say that's so be worth it, because the kids, they just go crazy over it.
Well, not only that, it's a little bit of an investment into a business of sorts.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
doing this thing.
So that'd be awesome.
Is it something that you do every weekend?
Yes, sir. Something
Yeah.
every weekend.
Yeah.
Since January, I would say I didn't get my first party this year until January 15th. And then right after that weekend, I just had parties every single weekend. Like this weekend, I have 5 parties to do. So
Oh, my gosh.
about every week, I would say I'm doing maybe 4 to 5 parties.
Good for you.
I know the most I've done on a weekend was I did 9 events in one day in October last year, 9 events in one day. And it was absolutely insane. I woke up, me and my girlfriend, we woke up at 7 a.m. and went straight to, it was around Halloween time. So a lot of schools were having what is it called?
Like trunk or treat?
Trunk or treats,
Yeah,
right? Yes,
yeah.
sir. So a lot of schools were having the trunk or treat. So I woke up right at 7 a.m. because I believe I had 3 people that wanted visits from Spidey. So I went, did all the visits, and then as soon as we turn around, it's 3, 4, and all these schools are starting to have the trunk or treats. So I mean, I'm going to Brentwood. I'm back in Franklin. I'm back to Brentwood. I'm here in Franklin again. Then some in Spring Hill. Then some in Columbia. So that day was really busy for us.
That's crazy.
So around Halloween time, I would say it's the most busiest, and definitely in the summer.
No, it's just typical birthday parties. People want you to come make an appearance.
Yes, sir.
And you have standard rates for an appearance and times and things of that nature.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
So,
very cool. And your girlfriend helps you every single time?
Yes, sir. So when I first started, it was me and my mom. My mom used to tell me what to say because at the time, I was still young. I didn't know what to say to these people. And I didn't know what to say, how much for a birthday or whatnot. So my mom, she would help me. And also my girlfriend, whenever she started helping, because when I was doing it by myself, it was really, really hard to keep up because, I had tons of messages coming across my phone. I'm like, okay, I reply to this person, go to the next one, reply to this person. And then I go back to the next chat and I'm like, oh, I'm confused. Like, oh gosh. And then I have people wanting the same time frames and I kind of have to sort them all out.
Yeah.
And
you can't please everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You get on the Spider-Man is not able to be in several places at once.
Yes, sir.
A lot of the people kind of reaching out. I mean, it's become a phenomenon.
Yes, sir.
And much like a pal of ours, I don't know if you know who Bill Yuss is, the garage door guy.
Yes, sir. Billy, yes.
You
Yes,
have
sir.
that same kind of phenomenon going on. People will champion the crap out of you.
Oh, yes.
On the Spring Hill pages, Columbia pages, maybe getting as far north into Franklin and stuff because nobody's doing what you're doing, Bill.
Yes, sir.
And it's amazing to see. You got to love it when people come out and champion people.
Yes,
like if
sir.
anybody dared say something bad against you, you'd have the whole community go, no, this is a good kid, man.
Yes, sir. I do believe I'm a good person on the inside. I think I get that a lot from my mom and my grandma, just in case. You just always want to help the next person. You never know what someone's going through.
Yeah.
Like I could be smiling right now, but going through something. You just never know what anyone's going through. So you kind of just always want to be nice to the next person or help out however you can.
But the core of you, who you are and what makes you up, your disposition, your personality, your energy, just sitting here talking with you, you're calling me sir. It's very respectful. It makes me feel old as, a pyramid. But, a lot of the, where did that come from? Was that just kind of programmed into you from when you were young or?
Yes, sir. My mom always told me, say sir. So, yeah, mom and grandma definitely big on manners. So I really got that from them and my
But
granddad.
even you're smiling, it just, a lot of people don't do that. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
you're born and bred for sales or something, just you're like, what do you want to do going to move after all this? When the joints aren't so limber.
Right. Yeah. I've actually had that conversation with myself a lot. Like, gosh, when am I going to quit this? And I'm like, maybe next year, maybe the year after that one.
Yeah, but you're barely into your 20s at this point, right?
Right. Yes, sir. Just turned 20.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. It's like,
Right.
you can do this till you're 30.
Right. Yes, sir. I think the thing that most people don't understand is it takes a lot of time because each weekend, as I said, I'm doing so many parties that it's like I work throughout the week and then the weekend gets here and I look forward to it, to either spending time with my dad, my mom, or my girlfriend, or my grandma, or with my brothers. I have 2 brothers, an older brother and a little brother. It just takes up a lot of time. So that's why sometimes I always consider to myself like, wow, should this be the last year? I feel like time is something you can't get time back, so.
Of course not.
And I've even missed some family trips doing Spider-Man. So I feel like it takes up a lot of time. But I'm not sure. I guess I'm just going to follow the path and just whenever my heart tells me to stop, just stop.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You're kind of following the what the market will lead you to be.
Yes, sir.
You don't have any idea, what you want to be when you grow older?
I think for sure. Me and McKenna, we're working on that now. We want to get into real estate. We love real estate. So we love doing real estate. So that's what we want to do when we get older. She's actually studying for her license right now.
Wow.
Me, I don't want to be a realtor or anything like that. She wants to be a realtor. I just want to own lots of properties. So
Oh my gosh, if I had the same kind of mindset as you at that age. You're going to be a lot farther down the road than I ever was. But I mean, that's pretty amazing to see that you're into real estate. How did that come about? Was that just something? Do you listen to other podcasts or study people?
I listen to. You know what? I listen to one podcast, and it's called The Bigger Pockets. I'm not sure if you've heard of them or not. They're called The Bigger Pockets. They talk a lot about real estate and a lot about the housing market and just a lot about the economy. So it's really fascinating to learn. I would say that I watch a lot of YouTube videos. My girlfriend, she introduced me to Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. Yeah. And I'm not a big reader, but I bought the book and said, why not? Let's read it. And when I read the book, it kind of just changed my whole perspective about life. And I was like, wow.
House is not an asset, man.
Right. Yeah,
it's a liability.
Not. Right. Yes, sir. And I was like, wow, I'm thinking of everything different, I used to grow up, I want this car, Mom. I want a Lamborghini when I'm older, just the basic kid. And now I'm just like, I just want a lot of properties. Me personally, I don't really like working for people. Right. I'd rather, do something myself. Or my brother, he has his own electric company. So he works for himself. So I'm like, wow.
How old's your brother?
My brother is 23.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So 3 years apart.
Licensed electrician.
Yes, sir. Licensed. And he's actually going back to school to get his master's.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
For him. We need to make a connection with him because we sell lights here.
Oh, wow. There you go. 2
electricians. Go figure.
Yes, sir.
That's something that, it's you moving into that area. It's 20 years old. That's something to be really, proud of, because by the time you're 25, which I know seems like a lifetime to you.
Right.
It's going to come here quick. Trust me. You're going to have a lot of, especially if you're starting now.
Yes, sir.
So your first property, what do you want it to be?
I want it to be a duplex. Me and McKenna, that's what we want. We want a duplex. I was actually looking at some properties before I came here. My realtor, and also Steven's a guy who actually did the fundraiser for the red Honda.
Yeah.
So he's a realtor, and me and him, we got super close we built a connection. I just hung out with him Saturday. We went to the fair. So we want to...
And he's kind of mentoring you.
Yes, sir. Okay. So he's kind of mentoring. Yeah. And we recently just went to a multi-millionaire family home asset class. It was in Brentwood. Me, McKenna, and my brother went. And the class was pretty good, but it was focused more on how to buy apartments than, what I want to do, duplexes and whatnot. So...
See, Cardone, if you're not familiar with Grant Cardone, are you?
No, sir. Not familiar.
Grant Cardone is one of the leading voices out there that teaches you how to get into real estate, to the point where he created his own syndication.
Wow.
And, he'll buy, big old apartment complexes.
Wow.
And I think he's got something like 5,000 units that he owns. But he's in his 60s,
Yes,
he started when he was in his 30s. So if you kind of keep on going with this, buddy, you're going to... But he would tell you buy at least 16 doors.
Wow.
You know why?
I feel like compared to having a duplex, I'm living in one half, renting the other one out.
But what happens if you can't rent the other half?
Exactly. If I can't rent the other half, I have to pay the whole thing.
You got to pay the whole thing.
And then rather than an apartment complex, if you lose 2 people or whatnot, then you still have 14, so you're still doing good.
And you for first-time buyers, I know there are programs out there, especially if you partner up with somebody.
Right.
You might be able to get into something that's, cover your bases kind of thing, where it's just a matter of finding the property.
Yes, sir.
Duplex, I think, is probably a lot easier. Quadplex, probably the most ideal, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But man,
I haven't seen any quadplexes. I was looking at a triplex before I came here, and it's down in Lewisburg. And just right now with the house market, how it is, everything is super high. Interest rates. I went and spoke with the lender, so everything is really high. But I feel like there's no really good time to buy, or don't wait till it goes down, because no matter what, your home will always gain equity.
Well, except for 2008.
Yeah, 2008 market crash. Gosh.
Yeah, but then still it came back. So
yeah, it came back.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Warren Buffett is a good guy to listen to.
Yes, sir.
Look into Grant Cardone. The Real Brad Lee is another good guy to listen to.
Okay.
All these different podcasts. I mean, it's stuff I wish I would have marinated my mind in when I was 20.
Right.
I mean, 20, I was just trying to get into radio. I was trying to figure myself out.
Right.
At that point.
I think Warren Buffett's really good. He saved 2008, right? Correct?
As far as got us out of it?
Yes, sir.
Well,
I believe if my understandings are right.
Oh, I'm sure he commented on it. I mean, a lot of people that were aware of what was happening that didn't panic. I believe he was the one that was famous for saying that when there's blood in the streets, buy.
Right.
When everybody's panicking is the time to get in.
Right.
And I know a lot of people panicked at that. Just a lot of people were trying to figure out what went on.
Right.
How did we get to this point? And then you watch a movie like The Big Short. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, sir.
That movie really does lay it out.
Okay.
Really well.
I'll have to check that out for
There's
sure.
a lot of blue language in it, but it's one of those movies that my wife and I will watch, and she's like, I still don't understand it. I said, I'm slowly getting it. It's taking about 3 or 4 or 5 watches, but I kind of get what happened. Because I remember that time of life. We they were packaging bad mortgages into what they called CDOs, collateralized debt obligations, I believe they were called.
Wow.
So anybody could get a mortgage, because everybody would deserve to own a home was the mentality. Well, when you do that, you get subprime applications and applicants that, shouldn't really be owning a home. You got people that are there because they were just handing out money, and some people just saw it years out, they started shorting the housing market.
Wow.
So that was the whole story. They saw, a lot of mortgages in default, and they just kind of went from there. And I'm sure I'm just completely wrecking the paraphrasing of this, but that's my understanding of it. So
wow.
And it just took time for us to figure out our way out of it. It took several years, about 4 or 5.
Right.
Because 2013 is when things really started getting traction again.
Gotcha.
But, it's typically real estate's a good bet.
Yes, sir.
Especially in this part of the country.
Yes, sir. I feel like it is. Texas.
Lewisburg is good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I plan on starting off small because, obviously first duplex or whatever I decide to get isn't going to be anything, huge, fancy, nice.
Right.
It's going to be a little bit of a downgrade, but me and my brother, we do a lot of work. So I feel like it's nothing for us, to get in there, do some repairs, fix up some stuff, and get on the market.
Do you have an idea of where you want to be when you're 25, 30, 35, 40?
Around 35, 40, I want to be retired. I plan to be retired. At that time.
What does that mean to you?
I feel like whenever I turn, wherever in my 35s, 40, I want to have at least 25 properties.
Right.
Because if I'm charging, let's just say I have 25 duplexes, charging $1,000 for each. So that's 2 sides, $1,000. That's just $2,000 from that one property. Right. And then there's 25, so 2,000 times 25. Do the math.
I guarantee you're going to be a lot more than 1,000. Yeah.
So
rents around here are $1,500 and more.
Right. Yes, sir. So, I just plan to be retired and relaxing, enjoying life.
Right.
So if I have kids around that time, enjoying time with my kids, my wife.
Remember me telling you this. Always have purpose.
Right.
Purpose is what keeps us alive.
Yes, sir.
And generally. Because a lot of people get to retirement age, 50, 60, and they go, I'm going to go play golf, and they're, dead in 5 years.
Right.
So, always have that purpose. You always want to be doing something.
Yes, sir. I love fishing. I fish a lot. I love fishing. Me and my dad, he's actually taught me how to fish. We go to Alabama a lot, and we fish almost every single weekend.
Really?
Last weekend, we went fishing. We fished for catfish, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We went fishing. And
you did the noodling?
No, sir. No noodling. I feel like I drowned. Those fish are huge if they catch.
Know, right?
And so we're fishing, and he's fishing on the other side of the dock, and I'm on the other side. And I had a pole in the water, and I have a skipjack head, if you know what that is. Skipjack?
I don't.
It's kind of like a bass in that nature, so it's kind of like a bass. And so I just use that as bait, and little sunfish, bluegill. Familiar? Mm-hmm. So, yes, sir, we use that for bait. And I was sitting there, and a fish drug my whole pole in the water.
Oh, nice.
So that was pretty fun.
That was nice of him.
And then my dad, he ended up catching a 40-pound flathead catfish, if you know what that is. It's
I know 40 pounds is a big fish.
Yes, sir. 40 pounds, pretty nice size.
Yeah.
So, yes, sir, I love fishing. That's what I love to do.
You ever go deep sea fishing or anything like that?
I've not been deep sea fishing yet.
Buddy.
I want to go.
Yes, that is a lot of fun. I did that a lot in my youth. with my dad.
I'm gonna see if we can do that. Maybe if me and McKenna can do that. We have a big trip planned for October. We're going to Greece, so
nice.
We'll be in Greece for about a week and a half. So maybe we can go deep sea fishing over there.
That'd be fun. That'd be something.
Fun. So
you could do it right off of the coast, the Gulf Coast, the Orange Beach and all that area.
Yes,
Destin. So has anybody from like Marvel reached out to you, or they caught wind as to what you're doing around here?
No, sir. No one has. I don't think it's that big yet.
Right.
I feel like if I put in a lot more time and work and effort and marketing get better, that's one thing that I think I fail or I kind of suck at is marketing.
Right.
Just because I'm so busy with a lot of stuff in life. So I'm just like, it gets around maybe word of mouth and post and from the Spring Hill Spider-Man Instagram. But I definitely feel like if I would market it better, it would be out there a lot better.
I'm pulling up the Instagram page right now.
Yes, sir.
So Spring Hill.
So it's just Spring Hill and then _ Spider-Man.
There you are.
Yes, sir.
That's a healthy following, 2,500 people. I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm here to spread positivity throughout the community.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. And you got your Venmo there. That's perfect.
Yes, sir.
You're followed by a lot of people that I know. Kristen Darden, she's a buddy of mine's friend, or wife rather.
Okay.
And and all your antics are on there. That's pretty cool.
I would say I definitely think whenever I did the party for Jana Kramer that it kind of boosted Spider-Man a little bit. I want to say after the party, so she wanted something completely different. I've never heard of this before. She wanted a Spider-Man training course. So she actually lives right up here in Franklin, McEwen. So she lives right off that exit. And so she wants a Spider-Man training course. And my girlfriend, I'm asleep at night, she calls me. She said, hey, you have a party for Jana Kramer. And at the time, I'm only 20 and she's a little bit older. I believe in her 40s maybe. And so I'm like, who is that? I have no clue who this is. She's like, she's verified, 2 million followers, blah, blah, blah. She wants you at her party. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And so we set the party up and she wants a Spider-Man training course. And so we start looking up stuff online and we go to Walmart, or we actually go to Lowe's and we buy two 2x4s. And so we plan to set up like a little bridge where the kids have to walk across and being steady. Yeah. And then we set up a Spidey. We had some spiders, and then we got some nets that the kids had to throw the spiders on the nets and land them. And then we had a whole bunch of cool stuff. I forget, the party was sometime last year. I do a lot of parties, so
they all run together.
Yeah, they all run together, and I did a lot of parties. And so it was actually a failure when we get there. It's raining and it's dark because it was back when the sun was going down, or maybe 4 o'clock or maybe 5 o'clock, I believe. Right. And the sun was going down, so we get there, it's all dark, and once it gets dark, it's really hard to see out of the mask. So, because it's kind of like sunglasses up under, it's kind of like tinted sunglasses, so it's really hard to see, especially when it's dark. So we get there and everything's dark. We can't set anything up. So she has a huge bounce house. That's a huge help. So I start playing with the kids in the bounce house, running around, and then I try to tell her son, I'm like, hey, you want to do this cool Spidey dance? And he looks at me and says, no, I'm not doing that. And he runs the other way. And so,
you're out of your mind.
Yeah, right. And I was like, wow, this party is pretty good for all the other kids, but her son, just him, he just didn't want to be around Spider-Man. He kept running. He was really shy. We had some Spider-Man necklaces made, and we handed them out to all the kids. I believe her ex-husband was there, and he was actually a player in the NFL. So that was pretty cool. I think he played for the Bengals, I believe.
Yeah.
And
we got a lot of NFL players around here.
Right. I mean, he was huge. I mean, I think maybe if I had to guess, I'd probably say 6'5". Yeah. Huge, all muscle. I mean, I'm only about 5'5". He looks like a giant to me.
Sure.
And it was pretty cool.
Well, are you into sports at all or watching them at all?
I don't watch many sports. Sometimes I watch track and field. I watch a little bit of baseball. A little bit of football. My grandma, all my family, they're into sports, but me, I'm just like,
Just couldn't care less.
Yeah, couldn't really care. My grandma, she watches sports a lot. She watches a lot of football, baseball, anything, you name it, she watches it. So whenever I'm at her house, I'll sit there, we'll be drinking a cup of coffee or something, and we'll just be watching sports, and I'm like, I don't know what that team is, or, she'll be yelling, do this, do that, and I'm like, why are you yelling?
Because people get into it.
Yeah.
It's like when they watch Spider-Man movies.
Right.
So Jana Kramer's kid, was he more of a Hulk fan?
I have no clue. You know what? Actually, Actually, now that you say that, it brings back a memory. He was before she made a video of
I was just
the
joking,
whole
really?
party.
Wow.
She made a video of the whole party, and he had like 2 huge Hulk hands, the one that I used to have as a kid, and he was smashing them before I
isn't
had
that
got
funny?
there. So,
How old was he?
4. Yes,
Oh, my
sir.
gosh.
He was turning 4, so I'm glad you said that because he actually did have Hulk hands at the
You
party.
go pound sand, Spider-Man. Hulk's not here. That's what I wanted.
Wow.
So with that being said, let's...
What's your problem?
So this is the impetus of the podcast where we ask, what is your problem? So it's always something for a business owner. You mentioned marketing
Right.
earlier.
Yes, sir.
You're into real estate. What's the one thing that's kind of gnawing at you that you want to do better at? You want to figure out?
I really want to do a lot better marketing. That's really, the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to get it out there more. I feel like I definitely do a lot, and people sometimes oversee it. Me and McKenna, we do a lot of fundraisers for Christmas, and we give back a lot, and it's not something, I feel like that's not something, you go around and say, oh, hey, I give back, blah, blah, blah.
Have you seen
"Hey, I
how
do
much
this."
I've given? Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like definitely marketing is hurting us a lot because we're not putting in the time and effort to get the pictures and get the photos back. Usually after every party, I'll text a parent or whatnot, and I'll say, hey, if you don't mind, could you send me the photos? And sometimes they'll never send them. Sometimes they'll wait about a month or 2 weeks, and they'll send them in, and I'll just completely forget to even post them.
Yeah, your
So-
last post was on July 6th, man.
Yes, sir. So...
Yeah. We gotta get at least, a couple a week.
Yes, sir. So I try to get them there, and sometimes I'll have McKenna come with me, and I'll say, hey, can you take a TikTok? Because I understand that TikTok is very popular. So we've recently gotten on TikTok, and we've posted a couple videos there. I think our highest viewed is at 2,000 views, which
Nice.
it's not bad, not good either. So I feel like marketing is really hurting us a lot.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, that's an easy fix in the sense of just, post more.
yes, sir. Post more.
Or
And,
make sure you got a point person there that's taking all the pictures and video
Right.
and all that fun stuff.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
And so, yeah, that's really the main thing that's hurting us is marketing.
Right.
But other than that, I feel like I do a really good job at it. I get there, so I do parties only 30 minutes, so no longer than 30 minutes. So I'll get there, I'll knock on the door, whatnot, and then usually the kid, they'll be in the back, or the parents will have the kids waiting for me, or guys, guess who's here? And then I'll walk through. So I'll get there, find the birthday boy, say, hey, buddy, how old are you turning today? And blah, blah, blah. And I'll definitely raise my voice a lot. I'll be like, hey, buddy, how's it going?
Yeah.
So I get there, do fist bumps or whatnot, give everyone high fives. And then I'll be like, hey, do you guys want to play hide and seek with Spidey? So we'll play hide and seek. So usually that'll last around maybe 10, 15 minutes, depending on how long the kids want to play. So we'll get there, play hide and seek, and then I'll be like, hey, you guys want to see a cool trick? Or I'll say, you guys think Spidey can walk on his hands, guys? And so they'll be like, oh, no way, no way. And so I'll finally get there, do a handstand, walk on my hands, and that breaks it. And then I would say finally it would break up and say, oh, you know what? You're not the real Spider-Man. Can you really do a backflip? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. So I'll run and do a backflip, and it has them all screaming like, oh, no way.
Off the hook.
And then right after that, they'll just start saying crazy things. And these are the things that you have to know how to respond to, I feel like. They'll start saying, oh, hey, climb on the wall. Or, hey, jump from this house to this house. Or, hey, why don't you shoot your spider webs? That's a really big question. Show us your spider webs. And I'll usually say, time to time, hey guys, Spidey only shoots his webs around the bad guys, and there's no bad guys, so Spidey doesn't want to hurt anyone, right?
Yeah.
And so usually, sometimes it'll work, sometimes you know how kids are, they'll keep asking, and I just kind of try to ignore it. I'm like, oh hey, trying to change the subject, their minds easily.
Yeah,
They're on
try.
one thing.
I want to see the web.
Right? Yes, sir. So usually, that's
You could always
big.
use the excuses that those guys, I forgot to make my web fluid.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And they'll be like, where are your web shooters? So I'm like, oh, no, I left them
forgot
all
them.
the way back in New York.
Yeah.
And so, and I also say, in New York, the buildings are really, really tall. In Spring Hill, the really, really small
I'll
buildings.
smush.
So I don't have anywhere to swing to.
That's
so,
right.
yes, sir. And then also they'll say, take off the mask a lot. I get that a lot. Take off the mask. We want to see your skin. Take off the mask. Take off the mask.
It would be kind of cool if you could figure out how to do web crawling or wall crawling, ceiling crawling.
Right. And I have looked into it a lot. I've looked up, like I've looked up the world's like most stickiest tape or
Right.
like sticky gloves, and I'm like, wow, only if
Yeah.
I had something that would make me stick to something.
Probably not going to hold your body
not
weight,
going to
though.
hold me.
Yeah.
How small I am. I'm only 5'5", maybe 125 pounds. So
But still, I mean, sheetrock is only going to hold so much.
right, yeah.
Sorry, I tore everything off your wall.
Right.
Part of the
And I
gig.
did come across these web shooters that they kind of look realistic. I'm not sure what's in them. I haven't read up that far, but whenever you shoot, it kind of has a little thing at the end where it just sticks, and then
Yeah.
you can also press the button and it'll come back to you.
Right.
And I believe it shoots. I think it's 24 feet. So it like shoots and then it comes out, and then you can have it come back in, and it's like just a little web shooter.
Yeah,
for
but if you do
Spider-Man.
that, then all of a sudden you got to swing from something.
Right,
Yeah.
yep. The kids are going to be like, oh, hey,
it-
swing from
there
the
you
building.
go.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yes, sir. So,
Gotta do what you can do, right?
and most of the time, the parents, they're right there. They're around. So,
Mm-hmm.
that helps out a lot too, because the parents say, "Oh, guys, well, you can't do this because
Right,
you
right.
might hurt someone." Or so that helps me out a lot. That takes a lot of pressure off of me of what to tell the kids. So,
Yeah, but then at a party, you'd have someone like me, like, yeah, go ahead, do it. Let's see it.
right,
You
yeah.
know, do you ever get people like that?
Yes, actually, I get a lot of parents like that.
my gosh.
Right when I arrive, they're like, "All right, let's see, Spider-Man can do a cool trip." I mean, right when I get out the car, oh, let's see it. He can do a cool trick. And sometimes I haven't warmed up yet. It might be my first party, and I'm like, "Oh gosh!" And
Pull yourself up to the chimney.
Right.
I want to see that.
yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
I get a lot of parties where recently in the summer I've been to a lot of parties and they all want to throw water balloons. Well, up under the mask, it's kind of, I'm not sure how you would describe it, but whenever you get the whole face mask wet, the water just comes right in your face.
Oh, so it's like being waterboarded.
So yeah, right, just like that. So whenever the kids, they go crazy with the water balloons, and they all try to attack just Spider-Man. I mean, they don't try for their friends. Everyone's just right after Spider-Man. So
It's got a big target on your back.
right, yes,
Yeah.
sir. And I have to try to dodge them all. Or sometimes I'll tell them, please don't get me wet because
Yeah.
I have more parties to do. And the next one, I don't want to go into someone's house soaking wet.
Well, then, do you have multiple suits at least?
Yes, I do have
Okay.
multiple suits. I have about, I would say I have about 20 suits,
Wow.
but all those 20, some of them are bad some type of way, or the longer I run, like on concrete, the bottom of the foot, it'll get ripped, or the hands, they'll get ripped. But right now I have about 5 suits that are good, ready to go. So I keep about 2 in my car, 2 at home, and 2 in my other car. So therefore, if I ever have anyone last minute, hey, we need Spider-Man, blah, 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 and I'm free, then I'll just leave from wherever I'm at, change, and go right there.
Has David Miller reached out to you? You know who he is? Miller's
No,
Thrillers?
sir. Oh, you know what? Yes,
Yeah.
he has. He reached out me to come to Miller's Thrillers. I want to say about the second year into COVID. I want
Yeah.
to say he reached out, and I had other parties, so I was like, well, if the pricing matches,
Yeah.
or he prices a little bit higher, maybe I'll do his instead of the parties, So the pricing was really, really low. So I was like, I'm sorry, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to, go to this and this. So I had to turn him down, unfortunately.
He's a good guy to at least have a cup of coffee with, because if there's anybody who can figure out how to make you climb a wall, it's him.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. I
Yeah.
have to reach out to him.
Yeah, he's not a bad person to be connected with for sure.
Right. And I also seen a post the other day where he was trying to rent out I think it was a single family home. So it looks like he may own some
Yeah,
real
he
estate too.
he does. He's into it.
Right.
Yeah, he was a realtor to begin with. He was one of I'd say one of the best people at marketing here locally.
Right.
Because he would just figure out a way to get your attention.
Wow.
That's marketing. How can people help you and move forward and stuff like that?
I would definitely say, if I do a party for you, definitely send me the pictures. That's what I go off of. I post the pictures and people love, if you're on Instagram scrolling, you and your wife, you would love to see a picture of Spider-Man or me doing a backflip. Cause a lot of those times I'll just come as myself and there's no way I can record and do the stuff at the same time.
Sure.
When the parents are recording, it helps me a lot of getting the footage back to me so I can post it. Word of mouth would help too. I've did a lot of parties like that. One time I did 2 neighbors parties side by side. Same thing in Franklin. I did a party right at this house, and about 3 houses down did another party. So word of mouth helps out a lot. Your service is also how I did. I get a lot of feedback, thank you so much. Everyone who recommended you was right. You're the best. if you could post that, and that would definitely.
So
help
getting
people
like a
book
Google
with me.
review going.
Yes, sir.
I don't think anybody has a problem with hiring you.
Yes, sir.
You've got good reviews inherently, I would say.
Yes, sir.
I would imagine just, getting your name out there and making those random appearances.
Yes, sir. Random appearances a lot. Sometimes I'll just be in the car driving on a Saturday, and you know what? I'll be like, hey, McKenna, maybe we're a little bit slow this week. Let's go to the park. I'll dress up as Spider-Man. Let's go hand out some masks, business cards, and let's just keep going.
And video.
Yes, sir. Videos too.
Get
Yes,
some
sir.
video of for the social media stuff.
Yes, sir.
So the thing about the video, man, is batching it. So making sure getting video and photos. If McKenna's there with you, or if you're with some family members or a friend,
Right.
Just constantly be taking pictures.
Right.
Different
Yes, sir.
angles, this way you can vary it up. And now you got a whole breadth of content.
Right.
You get to spread out over a month.
Yes, sir.
Batch
Yes, sir.
batch recording in a way.
Right. Yes, sir.
Well, there we go, man. That's so. How many people find and follow you? Do you have a website or a link tree, something like that?
I just have an Instagram and TikTok right now. We're working on getting the website put up, so therefore people can actually go through the website and book, and it will allow them to see what availability I have left, or if they want to book 3, 4, whatnot. It will also give them the cost all online, so therefore me and McKenna won't have to do that manually anymore. So that's coming up real soon here, and then So yeah, you guys can reach me at Sprinkle Spider-Man on Instagram and also Sprinkle Spider-Man on TikTok.
Is there a .com?
On Instagram?
Or do you have did you buy a URL for springhillspiderman.com?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so you should probably buy it before this airs.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Go to
Yes, sir.
GoDaddy and spend the $20.
Yes, sir.
And see if it's available, springhillspiderman.com, and I would point that to a link tree.
Okay.
Right, and Linktree will list out all of your links, your Instagram, if you don't already have it,
Okay.
TikTok, your Facebook page, all the pertinent areas,
Right.
and people can pick their poison where they can go see you and find out more.
Right. Yes, sir.
Maybe there's a Calendly link or something where people can book you and see what availability you have.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir. That's awesome.
automate
Yes,
your
sir.
business. You might as well.
Yes, sir.
So very good, man. So there you go. You've heard it all here. And if there's anything that we can do for you, just let us know. Go to whatsyourproblempodcast.com and help us out with sharing the podcast. This is what we do. We love taking an interest in local, budding entrepreneurs, especially, somebody like you that's just, gosh, you got a big future ahead of you. My
Yes,
goodness.
sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. And again, once again, whatsyourproblempodcast.com. Find, follow us, share it out. Again, be our BHAG, our big, hairy, audacious goal, 10,000 average downloads, hopefully within the Middle Tennessee area over an annualized basis. That would be wonderful. Whatsyourproblempodcast.com. Isiah,
Yes, sir.
great to meet you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.